Studio, very excited this morning because all we do every 10 minutes is talk about traffic, but we brought in someone else who is a pro, Victor Lindenheim, who is going to explain all about transportation issues affecting the SCV. Good morning, Victor.
Good morning,
Welcome to the Hometown Morning Show with Tori and Kyle. How are you?
I'm doing great.
All right.
I had no traffic on the way in.
I think a couple of schools, they start late March into April, rotating as far as spring breaks.
Right.
So I think for the next couple of weeks, it'll be pretty decent around town. Not the norm, and I think that's why you're here. You're going to give us the scoop. You're going to give us the skinny. Victor, what's going on?
Well, good morning, Santa Clarita. Good morning, Tori. There's a lot of big projects coming our way. You can't help but miss what's going on in the Interstate 5. What's going on there is what they call a pavement rehabilitation. They're replacing and repairing pavement so that you have less blown tires and less teeth rattling, a better ride on the 5, basically. That's going to go on for about another year and a half, maybe less. They seem to be on time, they being Caltrans. Sure. Caltrans is doing that. It's a $171 million project. It's paid for out of state funds, out of gas tax money, the old gas tax. We're going to talk a little bit later about the new gas tax, which is a bit of an issue.
Okay. The 5 freeway, I know it well. Northbound side, heavy coming in to the Santa Clarita Valley in the afternoon, heavy going out.
Yes, there is hope. After this pavement rehabilitation is completed, and starting in 2019, we'll be blessed with a new project. This one overseen by Metro, the county transportation agency. And the big issue overarching is, well, how are we paying for these things? Where's the money coming from? And sort of connected to that is, where does my tax money go? And part of the answer is what you'll be looking at for the next few years. There are some major projects, particularly the Interstate 5. What's going to happen there, we're looking at a $500 million project. It's going to go on for about 3 years, 3 or 3+ years. From the I-514 to Castaic, carpool lanes, toll-free carpool lanes. We fought to make sure they would be toll-free.
Was there talk of making them those toll roads?
Yes.
Because we don't have them up in our area at all, but down in Orange County, I believe, they have a bunch of toll roads.
Yeah, it depends on the locality. The thing is, with what we have to watch is where there is excess capacity of any kind. That is, there's some spaces on the road. Sure. Governments might try to capitalize on that and monetize it. Basically, sell the excess capacity. Sure. I understand that. That's the future. We'll always need roads, regardless of what kind of fuel you use for your car, unless we get to flying vehicles. But the Interstate 5, the major project that's going to start, will involve carpool lanes. Will involve the widening of about 7 bridges, will involve an extension, a new truck lane going south from Pico down to the 14-5 connection going
Pico's
south.
That's pretty high, because right now the truck lane only starts right before the 14, correct?
Going south?
Going south, yeah.
Pretty much. Well, there was actually a lane added in the first phase of this project.
Okay.
Yeah, that was. You've seen construction on the I-5 for a long time, and you're going to see it for a few more years.
It's just hard at that particular point, Victor. It is, I think, what the road splits.
Yes.
And so we're just trying to hold our own, because people get very confused very quickly with that split right before the 14. Even it's coming.
Yes.
And you still, can I get over? And cars sometimes won't let you over, and you get a little bit, it gets a little crazy. So that particular split, how long will that continue for?
It's a good news and bad news. The split that you see, it's going to move around. Because remember, the project this is a 16-mile pavement rehabilitation. It's going to go all the way up to Lake Hughes. So you're going to see the split move around, depending on where the Caltrans folks need a staging area to put the equipment, to move equipment through and around. So you're going to see that move around. So you would
The
say how
the
long?
split.
The project, though, will end in about a year and a half, and then what will be started are the carpool lanes. There's some auxiliary lanes. You've already seen some of the. There'll be sound walls. $500 million project. A point I want to get to, where the public can get involved in this transportation process, besides being aware of what's going on. And you can check our website for some of that, and that's goldenstategateway.org.
goldenstategateway.org.
Right, check that. There's another website I want to mention. I'm going to get into this now. The opportunity I think the public has to weigh in. FixCaliforniaRoads.com. That's Fix CA Roads. FixCaroads.com. And you'll be able to educate yourself on the following two issues. One is the opportunity to, I mentioned the concern about government, where does our money go?
Sure.
There is a constitutional amendment, Proposition 69. It's going to be on the June ballot. It'll give people an opportunity. I hope people will vote for it. And it'll basically restrict the use of any new funds generated for transportation to transportation. Government cannot be diverted, so on. So the opportunity to vote for that, educate yourself on that. Second part of it is there is an effort afoot to repeal something called SB1. SB1 provides $52 billion in new monies for transportation. That's what would be protected by Prop 69.
Right.
There'll probably be a vote on that in November, and the vote is to repeal. And that's not a good thing. That would be, in fact, in my opinion, a big, big mistake. 400 million reasons. The reasons are about $400 million
Sure.
that would be coming to the Santa Clarita Valley in terms of transportation benefits. Specifically, the I-5 project that I mentioned, adding carpool lanes, will bring, there's a pending grant request put in by Metro for $247 million. That'll pay for half of the project. The other half paid for with your taxes already. Measure M was the half-cent added to the sales tax recently, and that'll provide about $240 million, which is already committed. The 247 I'm mentioning, state money provided by SB1, the gas tax. It's a grant request. We're in great position to get it. It's the program that SB1 set up for trade corridors, that is I-5. There are 12 that Caltrans endorsed as priorities. I-5 is the number one priority in the state as far as getting trade corridors built and expanded.
Really?
We're in good shape for that. Then
Excellent.
There's another $57 million infra grant. And by the way, Representative Knight has been helpful in interceding on our behalf and with the Office of the Secretary of Transportation to push for it. No guarantees, but by June, I understand, we'll learn whether we get that $57 million or not. That's contingent on getting the Measure M money, which is committed, and the state SB1, the grant money that I just mentioned, the 246. It's all contingent. It comes together. Something I want to mention locally, if you talk about a local benefit, there's, from this SB1, there's a local distribution for cities, towns to utilize money that they get from the state, from our gas tax money, utilize it as needed. In fact, the city council just Tuesday authorized accepting $3.5 million from that pot of money for their slurry and seal program for our local roads. In 10 years, that's the SB1 money, local benefits, local distributions for the city of Santa Clarita will come to $64,421,000.
Wow.
Now, that's why I say I believe it would be a big mistake. There's much more. We don't have the time to go into it, but there's a lot of opportunities for local transportation money.
Give that one more time on that web address.
Yes. FixCaroads.com.
Excellent.
And you can get an education on both Prop 69 and the potential repeal of SB1.
Victor, always a pleasure. Come back and see us soon.
I will, Tori.
And let us know how that money's doing. We need to know the upside of that.
I'll keep an eye on it.
Okay.
Thank you.